They are taking your money right now. Not criminals, not hackers, not scammers. The account your HR department told you was going to make you financially free. Your 401k. And the most dangerous part of all? You signed the paperwork yourself. Pull up your 401k account right now. Look at the expense ratio on your funds. Most Americans have never done that once. That one number you've never checked could be costing you $329,000 before you ever reach retirement. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you will see what the financial industry has spent decades hoping you'd never figure out. The 401k was born in 1978, not to help working Americans retire well. It appeared as a tiny footnote buried inside the Revenue Act of 1978, Section 401k, designed as a tax perk exclusively for highly paid corporate executives. Not for teachers, not for nurses, not for anyone watching this right now. Then Wall Street saw what was coming. Millions of Americans depositing automatically every month forever without stopping. They didn't see a retirement system. They saw a guaranteed ocean of money they could manage, control, and charge fees on for the next 40 years straight. And that is exactly the system they built. Here is the math they hope you never do. You have $100,000 in your 401k today. You are 35 years old, retiring at 65. The market returns 7% per year on average. With zero fees, that becomes $761,000. Now add just a 1% annual fee. That $761,000 becomes $574,000. You just lost $187,000 to fees you never noticed. Now add 2% total, which is what most Americans actually pay once all hidden layers stack up. That $761,000 collapses to $432,000. You lost $329,000. Not to a crash, not to bad decisions, to fees so small you never once questioned them. Those fees are charged every single year, whether your account goes up, crashes, or does nothing. The fund manager collects either way. You carry 100% of the risk. They collect 100% of the fees. That is not a partnership. That is extraction. There are at least 3 separate fee layers draining your wealth simultaneously every year. First, the expense ratio, typically 0.5% to 1.5% for actively managed funds. Second, the plan administration fee, often another 0.5% just to keep the account running. Third, individual service fees buried so deep almost nobody finds them. Loan fees, withdrawal fees, rollover fees, statement fees. Combined, you could be losing 2% to 3% of your entire portfolio every single year, silently, automatically, legally. But the fees are only the beginning. Here is the tax trap nobody warned you about. You contribute today without paying taxes. Your income drops and it feels like winning. In exchange, you agreed to pay taxes later, presumably in a lower bracket at retirement. That assumption may be catastrophically wrong. Your entire retirement strategy is one 30-year bet that U.S. tax rates in the future will be lower than they are today. The U.S. national debt has now crossed $34 trillion. Governments pay debt by raising taxes. It has happened throughout American history. It will happen again. You could build $1 million 401k and retire into a country where tax rates are significantly higher than when you started. You didn't avoid your taxes. You deferred them from a lower rate into a higher one. That is not a benefit. That is a trap. At age 73, the IRS makes it worse. Required minimum distributions kick in at 73. The government legally forces you to withdraw every single year on their schedule, not yours. Whether the market is up, down, or collapsing, those withdrawals count as ordinary income, the highest taxed category in the tax code. This can push you into a higher bracket, make your Social Security suddenly taxable, and trigger Medicare surcharges all at once, at the exact moment you can least adapt. Nobody mentioned this at your HR orientation. So why does everyone push the 401k so hard? Because it works brilliantly, just not for you. Employers spend less than raising actual salaries. Wall Street collects fees on trillions in these plans, every dollar, every year, regardless of performance. The IRS watches your money grow for 30 years and collects on every dollar when you're forced to withdraw. They take zero risk. They collect on everything. The IRS is the most patient investor alive. Here is what the wealthy already know. Always capture your full employer match first. A 100% instant return before the market moves is the best guaranteed return available anywhere. Never leave that money behind. After the match, shift focus to the Roth IRA. The Roth is the complete opposite of the 401k. You pay taxes going in, but the money grows tax-free. At withdrawal, you owe the IRS absolutely nothing. No RMDs, no income tax, no Medicare surcharges, $7,000 per year into a Roth IRA. At 7% growth over 30 years becomes $700,000. Every dollar belongs to you, every cent. If your income exceeds the limits, the backdoor Roth IRA strategy is fully legal and IRS approved. It still works. Eliminate actively managed mutual funds. The S&P SPIVA report has confirmed this for decades. Over any 15-year period, more than 90% of actively managed funds fail to beat a simple low-cost index fund. You pay 1% to 1.5% annually for managers who lose to a fund costing 0.03%. The boring, simple, cheap option wins. Every time. Build beyond any single account. Real wealth is never built inside one vehicle, controlled by one institution under one government policy. Build across multiple streams simultaneously. A Roth IRA, taxable accounts, real estate, a business, skills that generate income regardless of what any market or government decides. Never be fully dependent on any system you don't control. This system functions best when you ask no questions. Every investor who never checks expense ratios, never reads fund documents, never asks for better options is a guaranteed automatic revenue stream for the institutions that built this around you. The moment you start asking real questions, the moment you understand what this account actually is, everything about your financial life changes. More of what you earned stays in your pocket. Log into your 401k account right now today. Find every expense ratio. Add them all up. Ask whether a low-cost index fund on the same menu tracks the same market. It almost certainly does. Switch to it. Then open a Roth IRA today. Put even $50 in it and start the clock. Time is the one resource you cannot get back. If this opened your eyes, share it right now with someone trusting this system blindly. One share could save them hundreds of thousands. Like this video, so more people find it before it costs them another decade of losses. Subscribe to Prosperity Q and hit the bell. Every week we expose what the financial industry hopes you never discover. You found this video for a reason. Do not miss what comes next.